Hello, welcome to our Monday Moments. This is a group of ladies that are here to share with you, to encourage you, to welcome you into our community in whatever form that works for you. But we are going to be talking about a woman's journey. And guys, there are so many things that we go through as women. So welcome in. And first of all, make sure that you comment in the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. This is being streamed on several different platforms. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching it through replay, just let us know because we want to be here to support you. Ladies, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I think sometimes we forget that. And that's what we're going to talk about today is how can we step into these seasons of life and walk in them whole and healed. And we know that's always a process, starting from the time when we're a little girl. And if we have time, we might even share some slides that have been put together. But we want to encourage you today that don't do this alone. Join us, be part of our community. We have a community that supports each other. And our goal is to walk in this life and to live well. But we're all going through different stages of transformation. And it's a good thing. It's the way that our body was designed. Our body was designed to live in seasons. So we're all in different seasons of life. So we're going to talk about that today. So welcome in, ladies. Just how about if everybody says their name, where they're from? I'm Andrea Martin. I am from the state of South Carolina. I know we've just come from a big storm that's still kind of racing across the United States in some areas. So let us know where you're from. We had a little bit of ice, but I see the sunshine coming out today. So I'm so thankful. So we're going to go to Lori next.
Hi, I'm Lori Gatto, and I am just across
I can't hear you, Lori.
Oh. You can't hear me? Nothing?
I got you, Lori.
Oh, you got me? Okay. You can hear me? Okay. Hi, Lori Gatto.
I don't hear you.
Everyone else does. Oh, shoot. Can you hear me now? Can everyone else on the panel hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Lori Gatto, Southeast Wisconsin. I'm from Chicago, and I've lived in Wisconsin on the border for about 5 years.
Awesome. I just was able to hear you, Lori. Somehow.
Okay.
You don't have to be
good.
perfect to do this, guys. I'm sorry. My mics was giving us some feedback and welcome to my world. So thank you, Lori, for being here. So Jennifer, you want to go next?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Ellis. I am in South Florida. I am an adoptee and a full-time caregiver for my parents. So if my camera goes off, I have to go tend to something real quick, but I'll be back. And just so you know, you are not streaming on Facebook if that was one of your goals.
Yes, it was. I wonder why it's not. It says I'm live.
Yeah, it's not even on your page, so it may end up being recorded.
Okay. All right. We'll go back and figure that out. Okay. Okay. Carrie, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm in two places. For 2 weeks a month, I'm here in Chicago, parenting my high schoolers. And if you have a high schooler, you know how you parent them. You feed them, and then they're gone. And so the other 2 weeks, I'm fixing up a house in Kentucky to be my permanent home once these guys are all graduated and flown off. And that's about it.
Awesome. Well, so glad that you're here. Okay, who wants to go next? Molly, you want to go next?
I'm Molly Broad, and I live in the Dayton, Ohio area. We just got 13 inches of snow, so we are snowed in for today. I'm sure we'll have that warning lifted by tomorrow. Anyway, I outside of sharing ways to get healthier, I am a full-time I help businesses with advertising and marketing. So glad to be a part of this. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, what about you, Benita?
Hi, everyone. I'm Benita Riesgraff. I'm here in Arizona, and it may be sunny outside, but it's cold. And I am a mom of four and a nurse. So I have that background. I love learning all things medical and sciencey because I do love physics too. I have a bachelor's in physics, but I didn't plan on being here today. It just so happens that they're tearing out all of my flooring in my house and my life is chaotic. And then I realized, like, what mom, what female, what caregiver doesn't have a chaotic life? And so I just wanted to come in and jump in and be a part of this today. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. And you're so right. What we're there, right? Okay, Miss Early, you want to share?
Sure. Hi. Thanks for having me. I am the token Canadian here. So I'm in the Great White North, but it's a bright blue sky day. We have no snow up here. I am 58 years old and I'm a mom of two. I'm an older mom. My children are only 14 and 11. So you do the math. And I'm a kitchen designer by trade, and I love helping other women, such as myself, get rid of all this metabolic syndrome and feel like we're in our 30s again.
Hmm, I love that. And that's what we found, ladies. We found that we can take care of ourselves, nurture our health, which how many of you would say, hey, I'm horrible at that at times. Many times we take care of everybody else, but we don't focus on ourselves. So there comes a time when you have to step in and say, I'm going to do what I need to do for me, or somebody's going to have to be taking care of me. I don't know if any of you guys felt that, but that was me. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna share some stories today. So Lori, I'm gonna have you go first. Will you share with us about your journey to health, what that's looked like as you've come through different seasons of your life?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I love talking about this. We talk about it every day now, but a metabolic health journey and coming out from a rough side. I was this time last year, I was 40 pounds overweight. I had hypertension stage 2. I had pre-diabetes. I had eye floaters. I had migraines. I was told I had plantar fasciitis, but I didn't. I just had chronic inflammation because I had metabolic syndrome. And I we all know we joke with me on the face of menopause. I used to actually get up in the night and take ice cold showers, sometimes twice a night, just to get rid of the menopause boil because I'm 56 now. So I was 55 at the time. And I found a system that works really well for me and for all of us. And it's just changed my life. I no longer am hypertension stage 2. I do not have menopause boil anymore. I haven't had a headache. I used to take Excedrin migraine. I almost forgot what it's called. Almost weekly. And I thought it was just age. I thought I was just old. I was broken. I was bent. I wasn't any of those things. I'm now down to clothes I was wearing when my 21-year-old child was like 5 or 6. And I do not have that menopause awful, awful feeling and boil. Oh my goodness. 1 second. Sorry. 1
Oh,
second.
you're good.
I'm on. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Are you? Yes. Sorry.
Oh no,
Um,
hey, it's life, right?
yeah,
You are a woman.
yes.
It's life. That's what we do.
So I can come back, but I think I have an urgent situation. So can you guys? Okay, sorry. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. And I was
Okay.
trying to find a picture of Lori. When you see her pictures, and they were on my slide presentation, but we will find those pictures. So guys, if you have a picture that you want to find and share with your picture, that would be great. If you have a screen, you can hold it up.
I would love to.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
good.
You're
Sorry
still
about
on there.
that.
Okay. Oh no, you're good. Completely good.
I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see it?
Yes.
That's
A little bit
me.
of a glare.
It's me with an ice pack on my head, like, and a water bottle on my neck. If you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. Like I would put water bottles in the freezer, and then I would put ice packs on my head because I would have such headaches before bedtime. So that, and then if I would try to cool down that way. And then if not, I would have to take the cold, I mastered taking cold showers in, darkness. I had shower cap, I had a whole routine. And since finding this protocol, a very simple, a little bit of time-based eating, a couple nutraceuticals, all that is just reversed. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I don't have hypertension stage 2. I don't have eye floaters. I don't have headaches. And I don't take showers in the middle of the night, which is absolutely amazing. That's great. So it's just been a game changer for me. And it was the easiest thing I ever did. I was always looking for really something super easy because I was always like a yo-yo dieter. That was my main focus until I started getting metabolic warning signals like the prediabetes and the hypertension and the floaters and all the itises. So until I got those warning lights on my body, I didn't take things as seriously with my health. I just thought I could just do some crash diet and to be fine. But this reversed and helped all of those things heal my body as a whole. And at 56, to be a weight when I was, in my 30s and feel the energy that I had when I was 30s is almost unbelievable to me.
That's awesome. So how long have you been doing this system that we're talking about?
I think I'm on month 7 now.
So it's not been like it's been years, nothing
No.
like that. And you started seeing pretty quick results.
I lost 20 pounds and I felt the inflammation leaving my body. My face was very red and hot all the time, and I had a lot of puffiness. I was very inflamed. After about 90 days, which is what we've learned is probably when your metabolic system has a reset. So at that 90-day point, I could feel the inflammation leaving my body, and I had dropped about 20 pounds, and I'm down between 35 and 40 pounds now. So it was about a 90-day point where things started to feel really good, like feeling better, different energy, brain fog, headaches, weight started to come off. And then my sugar level stayed lower.
Yeah, that's amazing. And guys, that's our desire, is to give you an opportunity, maybe a different mindset, a different option to say, hey, how can I support my body naturally? Aging is what we do. We are going to age, but how can we age well? How can we age? I've got a presentation that I do, and one of the things I talk about is health span versus lifespan, and they're different. And how can we make our health span match our lifespan and it be as long as possible? They used to live to 120 years. We have people that age and live well, the blue zones, different things, but there's things that if we do, it helps support our body versus detracting from our body. Our body is innately built to heal. It's designed that way. It's created that way. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. So it's designed to heal, but we can be missing some of the parts, the pieces of that nutrition, that lifestyle that we need. And that actually starts even when we're that young girl. Those things start with that young girl. And if we look now, our young girls are starting their periods earlier and earlier. Do some research into that. Why is that happening? Does it have to do with the overuse of antibiotics? Does it have to do with the growth hormones that are in the foods that we eat? So just some things to think about as you're looking at our daughters. And when they start that cycle, don't look at it or this is just going to be a suggestion. I look at it as this is a new season of stepping into who they are. They are stepping into who they were created to be. So how can that season be a season of celebration, joy? They're becoming that woman that's going to grow up and go on. So anyway, just a little side note. Thank you so much for sharing all that, Lori, because we call you, you say you're with a menopause, just mess all over. When we saw these pictures of her, and then just to see the transformation, and we as mamas carry a lot. And that, especially ladies in the age that we are with caring for family, and we've got children, and then we've got parents, and we want to, we want to lift each other up. So thank you. And we're continuing to pray for you throughout the day today. So
thank you. I love you guys.
Love you too. Appreciate it. Okay, who would like to share next?
Can I?
Miss Arlie, absolutely.
That's great. Thanks for having me on here today. And, you know, if you're a woman over 40 and you're feeling powerless because your body is not responding to the same diet and exercise that it used to respond to when you were in your 30s, we have a solution for this. And that's why we're on here today, is because we want to share with you what our stories are and how we have gone through this journey. So just real quick about me, I mentioned that I'm an older mom. And so I gave birth to my daughter the year I turned 44. And then 3 years later, when I was 47, my son came into the world. And then I
Arlie,
always joke that he was
can you
my
guys hear
last
Arlie?
viable
Or is it just
egg,
me?
because I pretty much went right
No?
into
Arlie,
perimenopause,
you can?
premenopause after that. And I pretty much, now don't let this smile fool you. This girl's not happy, okay? But I pretty much went right into menopause, and I was 172 pounds here, which is 32 pounds heavier than the woman you're seeing sitting here right now. So I was basically looking and feeling like a slug for the last 11 years. And then what happened to me was a huge wake up call hit me on December of 2024. And my doctor said, "Okay, you're now a type 2 diabetic and you need to go on medication." And I said, "Well, for how long do I need to be on the medication?" And they said, "Well, for life." I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." And I had already done a little bit of studying, but obviously not very much implementing of the things that I knew. So I said to my doctor, give me 6 months. I got to go figure this out. And that's when I started to really pray about it and study about metabolic health. And that's how I stumbled across this 3-step reset that we're talking about. And I'll let you know my results right now. I started on February 21st. Andrea was there. She saw me right from the beginning. And in 90 days, I went and got my blood work done again on the 90th day of starting this. And my A1C went from
Test,
6.1 down to 5.0. I am no longer a type 2 diabetic. And I also am no longer insulin resistant. And in those 90 days, I had lost 22 out of the 32 pounds that I've already lost. Okay. So I obviously went to lose more after that. When my doctor saw my blood work results, we had a phone call, and she thought that I'd gone to another doctor or a pharmacist and gotten some medication. And I said, "No, I did this all naturally." But she was even shocked because my triglycerides dropped by 56%. She said that she's never seen anybody make that drastic of a change all naturally before. And so this is what we're here to share about. We do not need to drag our butts through life. My energy is like I was in my 20s, 30s. Like when you lose that 32 pounds and your body begins to becoming a fat burning machine, your brain explodes because you're burning ketones, okay? And your energy is increased and your body is working so much more efficiently. Can you imagine, without lugging around those 32 pounds is one of them, but also the blood circulation and just how everything is metabolizing. I feel fantastic, and I'm able to actually produce more in my day with all the other busy things that I do than I used to produce before. So, any questions? Did I can't hear anybody.
I can hear you.
Hey, ladies, Mike, I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you for some
Did
reason
I
on my
freeze up on
computer.
you?
Yes, we can hear you.
I couldn't hear Arlie.
Okay,
I can hear Arlie, and
can
I
you
can
guys hear me?
everybody. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
Can you hear
Okay.
I
me?
can hear you.
I've got my phone up and it's live but I can't hear you unless I'm on my phone. I'm not sure what's going on. And I think Benita
See, I
had said
can't
she
hear
couldn't hear
Andrea
Arlie
now.
either. So she
Yeah.
jumped back off. So something is obviously up with the sound. That's okay. We're going to continue because that's what we do, right? We press on, we figure it out, we work through it as long as so this tells me this message is really important for people to hear. So Arlie, thank you so much for sharing. And I know Arlie's daughter, everything she's been through, just powerful, powerful stories. Okay, who would like to go next?
I will.
Jennifer? Okay, awesome, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing, sweetie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer, and I am 50. And in 4 days, I will be leveling up to 51. And why is that so important to me? Well, one, obviously, my health has not been good for a very long time. So before, for me, I was, and just a little backstory, I was dealing with irregular periods for all of my life. My period for me started when I was 14. Very awkward time when you're in middle school, and mine were unbelievably debilitating. Lots of pain, lots of cramping, exhaustion through the roof. There really wasn't a rhyme or reason when it started. I was never a regular cycle, ever. In my 30s, I had an ovarian cyst. What I found was strange is that my body reabsorbed it. It didn't go through the process of bursting like a lot of women, unfortunately, like my daughter, deal with. So fast forward to a year ago, I was 161 pounds. I had high cholesterol. I had started menopause when I was 49 and didn't really know what to expect. And then, like Lori, I was flame on. The waves of intense heat were overwhelming to me. As a caregiver, I live in a home that is 78 to 80 degrees at all times. And like I said, I'm in Florida, so it's sticky and warm all the time. Like Lori, I was going to bed with ice packs on my neck to keep my body cool. I have 2 fans. I had to get a window AC unit just to try to cool myself down. I packed on quite a bit of weight around the middle. I was dealing with, I call my spare tire, because I no longer have to carry my tire with me anymore. Not sure how well you'll be able to see this, but this is me here. Tons of inflammation throughout my entire body. And I don't know if you ladies ever dealt with this, but over the years, you see all the different graphics and stuff. I mean, I grew up in the era of 17 magazine, and everybody looked like a tree. And I, in my mind back then, was okay. This is what I have to look like. There's no way around this. This is what it has to be. So as I aged, as I put on the weight, as I became more inflamed, high cholesterol, tinnitus, mouth sensitivity, anxiety, depression, everything seemed to compound for me. I felt body shame within myself. I did not feel good in my own skin. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced it, but when the inflammation started to increase, my skin started to itch. I started to know when more weight or inflammation was being put on. And I wasn't sleeping well. I was on an insomnia medication. So, I have this laundry list of all of these signs of things where my body was trying to tell me what was happening. And I was doing exactly what my insulin was doing in my body and saying, no, thanks, not listening. So I've been on the system for about 7 months. And like I said, I'm a full-time caregiver. I've been a caregiver for 3 years for both of my parents. They have cognitive decline. And one of the things that scared me terribly before starting this is my brain fog was so intense that I was scheduling medical appointments on the wrong week and on the wrong day. So for me, when you are responsible for myself, when I was responsible for somebody else, it brought a lot of shame because we were showing up a week in advance or a week after. And, I have a lot of different moving parts when it comes to people with cognitive decline. You're dealing with a lot of repetition, not only with the TV, but in conversations. And, did we eat? Did we not eat? Did we take pills? Did we not take pills? So I am kind of the leader of that whole situation. So 7 months on this system, I've gone from 161 to 127. My inflammation has reversed. I'm no longer dealing with insomnia, high cholesterol, anxiety, or depression. And that doesn't mean I don't get depressed. Okay. It doesn't mean that I don't get anxious. I get anxious for the moment in what I'm dealing with, but I am not debilitated like I was before. My energy is through the roof. I feel like I'm in my 20s. And actually, when I look at pictures of myself from my 20s, I'm built the same way. I look like I'm in my 20s.
That's amazing. Who
down.
who doesn't that make feel better, right?
Talk about feeling good in your
Yeah.
skin. And
Yes.
and it's funny because I there's different steps to the system. And, I drink I drink my tea every day. And I've offered it to my dad. And my dad says, you know what? One, I think you need to stop. And I'm like, why do I need to stop? He said, well, aside from you looking good, you have too much energy. Like the energy is just too much for me. You don't sit still. You don't sit and nap. You don't flip, switch channels on the TV. And I'm like, okay, that's never going to happen. But thanks. And I think for me, the greatest gift I was given was when my mom said to me, after I had been, I followed my medical professional when it came to decreasing my anxiety meds. She said, this is the happiest I've seen you in a really long time.
Mm. Wow.
And here I thought I was somewhat happy when I was taking those things. And, my gut health was so out of whack. I mean, as you all know, 90% of your serotonin's in your gut. And I didn't know that my gut was corresponding with my brain. And such a gift for my mother, my 80-year-old mother, to say, you are so happy.
Mm.
So I don't know if anybody has any questions, but that's kind of my journey right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Jennifer, I've watched you as you've come in, and it's like this onion that the layers just keep getting peeled off and peeled off and peeled off. And it's just, you just keep blossoming, you just keep growing. And like the anxiety and all that, our body heals in layers like that. Our cells, our tissues, our tissue organs, our organ systems, so as your body is healing at a deeper level, you're finding things are just, you're happier, you have more energy, you're not one to just sit and watch the TV. And that's people call, hey, I want to go clean out my garage. I haven't been in that garage.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it's been since I've not been in that garage? It just, sometimes I think we don't know how bad we feel until we actually get that little spark of energy again at a cellular level. And then when our gut starts getting better, our thoughts start getting better because of the
Yes.
gut brain connection, our sleep gets better, our energy gets better, the hot flashes go away, the brain fog. You don't walk in the kitchen and forget, well, why did I come in here? What am I doing? All of that stuff starts to transform, and it's a beautiful thing. And there's a time and a season for medication, but there's also a time and a season that we have to say, what can I do? Lifestyle. What am I missing? How can I step into this? And I'm so proud of you for doing that. And you're seeing this real you, this shiny, happy Jennifer, this girl that's, that's moving and growing and just and taking care of her family and all that. I mean, it's a lot. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing. So
Well,
that's
thank
awesome.
you. I so appreciate you sharing your, I don't know what the word is, your positive affirmations. I think that is something that a lot of us miss, is when another woman sees the work that we're doing and affirms us in what we're doing. And I mean, that just literally gave me the chills. And I really appreciate you seeing me. I really do.
How many women, thank you for being real and saying that. And that's the community we want to build. That's the community we're building. We want to see each other. We want to, like our dear sister Lori, who's going to take care of her mom. We're praying for her. It's, ladies, seasons are hard. They are not easy. And as you walk through this season of change and transition, no matter what age you are, it is a season of change and transition, and we need each other. We need community. We need that girl tribe. We need those people that lift us up. And, I was listening to, and there's going to be some resources that we'll share with you. Dr. Mindy Pell's excellent books. And she talks about even just women getting together and sharing their stories, the power that has proven for the generations. Jesus shared stories. That's how he taught. We learned through that, and we can be such a community of impact when we come alongside and say, "Hey, I believe in you. I believe in each one of you. We were created with a purpose. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are daughters of the King." I'm just going to tell you, there's a good plan for us to walk in. And so, anyway, if there's anybody on here that wants this, Claudia, Jennifer, Molly, I mean, we are here as community, as sisters, to lift you up, to help you. So thank you. And yes, you are transforming before our eyes, and the best is yet to come, girl. You just keep doing what you're doing, and I can't wait to celebrate you even more. So
Well, thank you. So I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Okay.
I got some duties to take care of. So bye, ladies. See you later.
Thank you. See you later. All right. Who wants to go next? Molly, you want to share real quick? Or Claudia, you want to share? Can you?
Sure, I can go next. Not a problem.
Okay, I can't hear you again. Is it me?
You can hear me? Okay. You can hear me?
Hear her. Okay.
Okay.
Go.
I don't know what's going on today. It's the weather. But yeah, so definitely. So, oh my gosh, my story before even finding this protocol, I had suffered a pulmonary embolism at the age of 24. And, I was just reflecting today on this, and oh my goodness, it's time really flies, but it really gets you thinking on all the things that you go through.
I was just reflecting today on
So,
this. Oh my goodness.
um, when I
It's
had pulmonary,
time really flies, but it really gets you thinking on all the things that you go through. I was just reflecting.
I can hear myself. Is that just me? Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, so the pulmonary embolism really pushed me into this roller coaster of multiple symptoms: brain fog, inflammation, gaining weight, migraines, imbalanced hormones. I mean, I was a total wreck. The biggest one for me was brain fog. That really was when I hit rock bottom, when I started forgetting things for hours. And just, when that happened, it really, what crossed my mind was Alzheimer's. Never thought about insulin resistance, never ever have heard that word. So that's when I just really was trying to find answers, because it was really hard being a mom of two. As a mom, we want to be our best, and we do our best. We put our health to the very end. We put everybody else's health first, and that was me. That was really me. And once I hit that rock bottom, it was like, oh my goodness, something's going on with me. I was being put on medication, because I was trying to find answers. So my symptoms mimicked a lot what was the thyroid. So I was put on thyroid medication, even though, and this gets me so angry every time I talk about it, because I was put on thyroid medication even though my thyroid was within the normal range. But of course, because symptoms mimicked a thyroid, we were trying to deal with the symptoms and really not getting to the root cause. It's not because of my family doctor that I really started questioning as to why I was taking this medication. I go back, I do, and what happens? They raise my dosage and they extend the time that I have to use it. They say, oh, you're going to use it for another 3 to 6 months. And I'm like, okay, obviously, this is not it. This is not the answer because my blood says this is within the normal range. During that time, that's when Jaime, my husband, had come across the protocol. And he was looking amazing. He was looking great. He was having all the energy while I was over here falling asleep after eating, forgetting things, just trying to survive throughout the day. And they were mentioning night sweats and sweating, and I was starting to have those as well. Wasn't a lot, but I remember having them from time to time. So I questioned my husband, and oh my goodness, I jumped into one of these amazing science calls that we have, and we learned so much about things. And I was checking off every single box because I could connect. I'm like, I am having inflammation. I didn't even realize how much inflammation I had. And not to say that I'm a person who is active. I have a exercise routine. I've had an exercise routine for so many years. And even like that, I was not seeing the results. I thought I was doing everything right, like many of us do. And I was not seeing results. I was going, the opposite way. I and so I learn about these things and start checking off all these boxes, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going through. But yet nobody had ever bothered to say, whoa, it's insulin resistance. It is stemming out of that. And as soon as I started with the tea, oh my goodness, I can now tell you the big difference between when I was feeling sick, when I was feeling lost, to what I feel now. That this is just realizing this is how I'm supposed to feel. This is how a healthy body is supposed to feel. Oh my goodness, I felt so trapped in that body that I was in before. Even your mood itself. I was at times depressed because I would see myself and I would feel myself. I was angry with myself. I was angry with my family. I was angry at the world because I was so miserable, feeling trapped with all these symptoms. And many of us feel this way. And like I said, like moms, we just suck it all in and we just run with it, right? We got no time to deal with the issues that we have, with the symptoms that we have. We just run with it and we just put it to the side. But yeah, until I did not discover how I'm supposed to feel, everything just fell in place. Brain fog, oh my goodness, completely gone. I have my brain back. I have my life back. The energy, my gosh, I can go all day and I'm still energetic by the end of the day. I am in a better mood. Do I get stressed from time to time? Yes, but that's a factor that I work with during the day. It's not like it used to be before that I woke up miserable because one, I didn't sleep well because I was having all these symptoms overnight and waking up in a bad mood. Now it's like I sleep better. I sleep like a baby. Like once I hit the bed, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
completely out. And I would struggle before going to sleep. So all these little things have gotten so much better. Um, the inflammation is gone. I've lost a total of 27 pounds, and I'm a very petite person. Um, but a lot of it was a lot of inflammation too. I did not realize how bloated my face was. Let me see if I can find a picture of
I got
myself
a
here.
picture of you if
You do? Oh my goodness. Yes. That was me, the visceral fat. And one of the hardest things is like I go to the gym. I do strength training. I don't do a lot of cardio, but I do. Most of the things that I do is strength training. I'm like, and this belly doesn't go anywhere. Like, I was stuck with that. And but what really hit me, and let me show you. Let me see if I can turn the camera here. I don't know if you can do that. Oh, yes, we can. All right. So this is the picture that I look at the most because the difference, this one right here, that was me May 2025 last year. And
Mm.
this was about October. So that was before the protocol. Yes, October 27 was this. That was before I found the protocol. This was I started in June, July, August, September, October, 4 months in the protocol. The difference between both pictures, I'm like, oh my goodness, I did not realize how much I was aging. And that's, I mean, I was 35, 36 there. And I'm like, I'm 37 now. Yeah, that's 36. I'm like, let me see. But I didn't realize how much I was aging when your body is sick, when your cells are not responding, when they're not getting the proper energy, right? You start aging so fast. Your body shows you all these signs, and I had all these signs, yet I didn't know what was going on with me. Once I started healing at the cellular level, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I totally see these two pictures and I don't recognize myself as in like I just couldn't see myself like that. I thought this was the norm for me. But yeah, so it's been life changing. I love it. I love feeling better. I love being the healthiest that I've ever been in my life.
Mm.
Uh, I feel, oh my gosh, like I'm in my teens again.
Claudia,
Yeah.
that is amazing. And guys, let me tell you, she is a beast. She is a powerhouse. She is this woman and her husband, they work out. I mean, they amaze me. And to think, now, when was you in the hospital with the pulmonary embolism?
It was in June of 2024. So think about having to learn. If you are not familiar with a pulmonary embolism is you develop blood clots on your lungs. So that happened to me after a surgery that I had the following day. So I ended up getting rushed to the hospital again. I survived it because it's life threatening. You can die from that.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. Somebody comes and rips off all the air from your lungs because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I was gasping for air, and once it and I was reflecting earlier today. I'm like, oh my goodness, just to learn to breathe again because I had to do breathing exercises. Just to I mean, it was for me, it was a struggle to just walk 1 block without gasping for air.
Mm.
That was me for weeks, for months. Just get myself going again. Not only that, I had to be very careful with anything. I couldn't cut myself. I couldn't none of that. Even if when I would drive, I had to be very careful not to be involved in an accident because I was taking blood thinners. Otherwise, I'll bleed out if I would
Mm-hmm.
felt like it. So there was a lot of things I had to relearn to do again, and I couldn't exercise. Exercise was not an option yet. Walking, yes, I had to move, but exercise, what it was not, I was not there yet. So that was so frustrating for me because you're talking about somebody that works out 4 to 5 times a week to go to, you can't go work out to go do the thing that you love most. So that was the hardest part for
Mm.
months to rebuild myself.
Wow. And you have bounced back from that with
I have.
shining colors. I mean, you're just go. We got to be with her and her husband several times last year, and you just talk about just the joy that we see in them and them as a couple doing this together. When you hear his story, oh my goodness, we're doing it's a couples night. I don't remember what night that is, but anyways,
Thursday.
is it Thursday nights? We do a couples night one night, and they won the couples game the other day but just the stories, guys. This is a family.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family protocol. It's a family system. And if you say, hey, what is the system? We'll talk about that. But it's two teas and a fiber. It's the simplest thing. You get your shaker bottle. It goes with me everywhere we go. It is the simplest thing. And I am so glad that you're thriving now where you
Yeah.
were just literally
Thank
trying to
you.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're educating people and changing lives. Guys, everybody on here, everybody that you've seen today has a discount link that we have a code for you to get started and to join us and join this community. people are hurting, and that's why we're here. That's why we're showing up today. People need this. So, okay, I see Nydia came on too. Carrie, can you want to share next? Are you open to sharing? I'm not sure what's happening with the sound
Hello?
on my end, guys, so I apologize.
Oh, hi.
Who?
Did you
Okay,
hear
is
my
Nydia
name?
talking?
Sorry.
Okay,
Hi.
okay. I can't hear Nydia, but it's me. So keep going. I'll turn up my phone. Go ahead.
Oh, well, hi, everybody. My name is Nidia. I'm
So keep
been
going.
working with Dr. Bobby as a pharmacy technician since 2021. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This is my first time using this platform as well. And so I'm like completely interested in what's going on here. But again, my name is Nidia, and I've been working with Dr. Bobby as a pharmacy technician since 2021. I'm a single mom to a beautiful 9-year-old girl, and I'm 37 years old. I think in 2023, I hit my highest weight that I have ever been. And going back there, that was my biggest problem, is that I didn't feel like myself anymore. um, I had so much anxiety and just overall a lot of insecurity that was built up being that heavy. And I'll show you here in a second what that looked like. But of course, I reached out to Dr. Bobby for help at the time, not as my boss, but as someone who genuinely cared about my health at the time. We started applying functional medicine principles and balancing my hormones naturally. That first year, I lost 50 pounds. I felt great. I felt stronger. I felt more confident. But I think my main issue is that I kept fluctuating and plateauing around 165 pounds. And I'm only 5'2", so even at 165 pounds, I was about 40% body fat. I was still overweight, right? And I knew that I had more to go. And my daughter had been watching me applying new health strategies, new sleeping better, meditating. I had been eating the right foods and exercising. I picked up jujitsu, which is like my main discipline, my main way to stay fit and stay healthy. And, I had been excelling in that over the year. I made it to win gold medals at championships, international championships and stuff. But I knew there was still more to discover. And that plateau was just weighing me down a little bit. So my overall health looked great, like on paper. And I was training consistently. I was staying accountable through that discipline. But it was frustrating doing everything right. Um, and, I didn't realize that we were using, there you go, old information. Yeah, that's me. That's one of my pictures for sure. That's actually when I was at my 165, the picture towards Adriana. And like, I was like still frustrated, right? But what happens is that we found the new information, because the old information said that I was eating every 2 to 3 hours. I was avoiding fasting. And all of those approaches that once worked no longer matched my body's needs, right? So in 2025, Bobby came back from a ski trip, and he introduced me to a new approach for us ladies, us hormonal ladies. Because at the time I was perimenopausal. I'm 37 years old now, but it aligned more with my strategy on what my body actually needed, right? So that's when everything shifted, right? And now I've lost another 30 pounds, right? It's incredible. And this time I've been able to keep it off, like for a full 6 months now. Since September 2025, I've been 137, 136 pounds. Yeah, and it's been really amazing. Most importantly, I have more energy, more mental clarity, less anxiety. I feel like I finally found a space with my body. Um, that wasn't just about like willpower. It's about just doing the right information at the right time.
Mm. Wow, that is
That's
that's amazing. That and I look at you and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad she's here because we don't always get to see Nadia. And you have changed since I seen you last. Your face, everything. So congratulations. And guys, she's another one. She works out. You do karate, right? And all of that. And I mean,
jujitsu. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, and she's kicking butt. I mean, I'm like, these women that are just, they are stepping into a season of their life where they're feeling good. They're getting their health back. They're getting their mind back. They're getting their power back to really step in and say, hey, I can do this and I can feel well and I can live well. I can sleep well. I can rest well. I can think well. I can get rid of the anxiety. It doesn't have to have a hold on me. And oh, it's just beautiful. You're just glowing. I have what when you came into the business, I'm not sure how long ago it was or the system, but you could just tell you were heavier. You just had a weight and not just a physical weight, but just kind of a and there's a difference. So congratulations, girl. You are an example of what young women can do, and really take their health back. Way to go. Super congrats. And you have a champion in Dr. Bobby too, because he's right there supporting you, with all that support. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for being here and sharing with us today because we need all
My
the voices. All the
Yes, ma'am.
voices. So thank you so much. Okay, Carrie, do you want to go next? It seems like when we switch people, I lose my sound, but I'll figure it out. If you want to go, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. Can you unmute? Should be mine's at the bottom of the screen or even in your window. Your picture window. Let me see if I can. I might be able to unmute you. No, but it doesn't look like I can. Let's see. Okay, I think. I can't unmute you, Carrie. Okay, so you're muted. If you figure it out, let me know. Can you guys still hear me? Okay, Miss Molly, you are next.
Hey, ladies. So I am new to our community and this protocol, so I don't have a huge story yet. But however, even listening to some of you ladies this afternoon, I've realized that it's helping develop my story. And what I mean by that is I have had eye floaters. I also, struggle with the brain fog, and I've certainly had weight gain. That's really the thing that appealed to me the most with all of this. And then I've had phases in my life where I have such bad skin. It's not even a rash, but that my skin just burns the longest. So, so far I just started the protocol. Gosh, I think this is my second week. I've already lost 5 pounds, so I'm grateful for that. But I'll tell you the why behind my story, I'll say, really started when I was a very young girl and watching my mom struggle with weight. And I got a very inside view on what that looked like in her struggle. She would get a catalog in the mail and she would look through it and she'd page through it. And she's like, I would wear that if I were thin. I would wear that if I were thin, and just watching her with headaches and taking naps. And she ended up with trigeminal neuralgia and with Parkinson's and also with Lewy body dementia. So like I said, my story started very young and I started studying nutrition when I was a teenager. For me to find solutions with weight, because I have that same 15-pound range, you're going up and then you go down and then you go up and then you go down. I'd certainly like to stabilize that and not to have that as a battle, for sure. So, but not just about me, to be an extenuation to others, right? We have to first take this in, develop our stories, and for the hope that we can help so many others out there. So that's really what I'm excited about, is to be able to turn to others and be a solution. You know, I can't, every time I get on these calls, I just hear the most amazing stories about, you know, people getting off of their medications and truly having sustained healing. So that's really why I'm here. And so I just thank you very much for the time to share that.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And, you know, and it's when we watch people that we love go through struggles and hardship, you know, that's what draws us to say, hey, it's not comfortable showing up on camera. We would much, I'm sure all of us would rather just say, I'll just stay in my little cocoon. I will just, and yeah, I think we had those conversations before. You know, it's just easy to stay, you know, hidden, just to stay hidden. But when we do that, then we're not serving our neighbor. We're not serving the woman beside of us. We're not helping her family. And even for men to understand, hey, our hormones, it's not just that we're in a bad mood. When we go through some of these things, our hormones are on this roller coaster. And Dr. Mindy does a great last chapter in her book, Age Like a Girl, of speaking to the men. And as I was listening to it yesterday, I was like, if every man could hear this, if every woman could hear this, because it's not, there is something that's biological that's going on in our body that changes. And it's not that we're just trying to be mean. Yeah, Molly, go ahead. Come on in.
Carrie, I just saw your comment that you couldn't hear Andrea. She was asking earlier if you wanted to share your story. That's what she was asking. So I don't know if you can unmute and share your story, but sorry to interrupt, Andrea.
Oh, no, that's great. No, because okay,
yeah.
Perfect. I didn't hear it. Great. Carrie, go ahead. Share. We want to know.
Okay. Wave if you're done, Andrea.
Can you guys hear her? Because I can't.
Can you hear me? Okay, so let's go background. So I've been an active person my entire life. I've competitive dancer, competitive athlete, softball, volleyball, basketball. Even though I always would foul out by halftime. So take it with a grain of salt as to how competitive I was. Maybe a little too much fire, but I was the only one that could dribble the ball in 5th grade. So they kept me for a while. But you know, like it seems like the most of you, I'm about 5'3". So I'm vertically challenged. So all of the sports that I loved, I kind of timed out at about 6th grade. So I stayed with the cheerleading and the dancing, and I was a competitive dancer until, you know, like my senior year in high school. But after that, I found, you know, like running and aerobics, step aerobics. And then I taught all of those in college at our community rec center. And, you know, exercising of whatever the fad is was part of my life ever since college. And, you know, like once college is done, you're like, oh my God, do I do that as a profession, or do I work my profession that I've studied for? And so I was a 2nd grade teacher for quite some time, and active, but not so active. And then, you know, that weight starts to creep on, and between, you know, all the fertility things that I went through quite a few miscarriages and just fertility issues in general, and all the shots to get to, you know, a certain point. And I felt like I was more like a pincushion than a human being. And I think all of those sort of perpetuated that, like, you know, feeling that, you know, this body doesn't work. You know, everybody else is having all these kids, and, you know, we can't even get to month 3. And that's disheartening, you know. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
So anyway, So anyway, now I got 3 kids and I'm like, God, I'm 3 kids too many. So here we go. So how did I find you? You know, I've always been, since having the last kid, I've been behind the camera. People ask, hey, can you send me a picture of you before? And I'm like, scrolling. There are years and years and years and years. I'm nowhere to be found. There were 5 people in my family, and I'd only find pictures of 4 because I'm either semi cropped out. There'd be like, hey, oh, mom's only like partial in the picture, or I'm just not in the picture at all. And, that weight just kept creeping on. And I was still active. After teaching and having kids, I worked part time at a bar studio. I would work out 4 to 5 times a week. And bar is no joke. Everyone's like, oh, it's like tiny movements. It's tiny movements, but like big burn. And I love the whole bar, like body resistance to work out. But like everyone else is having all these like, oh my gosh, it's like melting off of me. But it wasn't me. And I did everything. My husband was diabetic, and I lived by his diabetic, like meal planning, low carb, high protein. And I lived by it more than he did. And, nothing would budge. I would always joke about my little muffin top. But like, I hid with the big shirts and all the stuff. But then, 8 months ago, I stumbled across my really good friend, Lori. We've been friends for 20 some years. And she posted her success. And I thought, oh, Lori selling me a bag of crap. Oh, am I allowed to say that? I'm like, God, I'll follow her down a rabbit hole. And so I reached out and I'm like, so what's going on? What are you doing? And she's like, oh, talked about the tea and the fiber. And I thought, another thing I got to try. And, I half-assed it. I did. I asked her. She'd be like, oh my God, you were my biggest pain in the butt client. And I still probably am. But I just kind of half did it. And even half doing it, like the first couple weeks was a couple pounds. And I was like, wow. And, I was only doing tea. I didn't even do the fiber. And so I would do the fiber. And then I thought, oh my gosh, the fiber was making me a prisoner of the house. But it's just because it's resetting that gut. You might have 1 day or 2 days of like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that needed to flush out. But then, ever since then, I haven't had that. Like I am regular on the tea and the fiber, and I don't have to stay at home. Everything is regular, and I am regular. That's one thing that I never had was regularity. But, I came to Lori because of the like not being able to move the scale. But beyond that, I had borderline labs. I was always like borderline. And they'd say, well, if this gets any higher, you got to watch this, you got to watch this. But I was having those, like I was a golfer, and, anytime you bend your hands, you'd see the white knuckles, or like it'd be achy afterwards. And I'd bend down to pick up a ball, and I'd see, I call them spotty dotties, but like, you get like a head rush. And, that, and, it was like a big joke. I'd always say, anybody see my glasses? And they're here in my hand. Like, oh, got it. Or like, they'd be here. Anybody see my glasses? Or my keys? Or like, even worse, if I would just completely forget like an appointment of some kids, and I'd be like, oh my God, how did I forget that? It's in my calendar, and I got the reminder, and I'd still forget. And, it's just embarrassing. And I haven't had that in quite some time. We've been on schedule, and I'm down 20 some pounds. The other day, they asked for a win. So I've been on it big time for real for 5 months. I'm 28 pounds down. I can bend my fingers. Look, no white spots.
That's amazing.
And,
That's giving you your life back.
I'd like to say memory fog is gone, but I'm just searching for the right word. The memory fog is gone, and I don't as much worry about dementia. I still worry about the dementia part because I'm a worry wart. And I don't think Lori's full of crap anymore. So.
I
Carrie, if I
love
could
that,
ask
Carrie. Can
you,
you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I
That
did for 2 seconds. Do that again. You said if I could ask you something.
oh, Carrie, yes, I just wanted to ask you, how long did it
Can you
take
hear
you
me
to work
now?
through the fiber, the
No.
balance?
It was only like a couple days. I would say 2 days at the most. Like the first day I was like, whoo, I'm not going to be able to leave the house here. And the second day was, much better. But the first day, it is like, you're getting flushed, but it is that stuff that is stuck. And I have felt so much better, like once I truly stuck to the plan. There was one day we went to San Antonio and I had fried food, I had a donut, I took my fiber, and that night I had it was like woo, like this little puffy bits here. I was like, I can't do that. Like this is what has been giving me issues. But the next day I was back on everything and back to eating smart. It allows you to, it takes that food noise away where you're allowed to think about and plan, your meals so that you eat right. And you're not like, oh my God, I'm so crazy hungry. Like, I'm just going to grab that bag of chips or I'm going to just drink whatever. I look over there. My daughter had coffee creamer this morning. I'm like, ooh, that would have been, a couple months ago, I would have been like, ooh, I'll just splash a little. But now it's like, this black coffee. It is black as night coffee in there. I don't know if you can see it.
And you don't even
And
want it.
without
Can you guys
spilling.
hear me now?
But
Can you?
I don't mind it. And it doesn't give me that temptation anymore. It takes that away. So
Because this is a natural
that's about it.
GLP-1 support. So, I mean, just
Oh,
everything
wait,
that
I
you
can't hear
shared.
you again. Maybe I'll
And
mute myself. and I
Molly, can
hear.
you hear me? Okay. Yeah. So everything that you shared, thank you so much. I mean, just being able to get your movement back in your fingers, that's huge because if that's happening now, what's in 5 to 10, 20 years to come, So we want to be where we're aging well. And guys, what this is, it's a simple 2-step protocol, plant-based nutrition, supports your gut, helps detox your liver, and adds fiber back into your day. It's patented, it can't be copied, it's been around for years. We've got clinical research showing exactly what it does in the body. And it's an amazing 2-step system. We encourage you to skip breakfast, include intermittent fasting. And a lot of times that is just skipping breakfast. It's simple. It shuts the food noise down, like Carrie just said. The brain fog, so many of us on here have talked about that. The brain fog, the anxiety. And our food system was designed and set up so that we want to buy more, so that we go to the grocery store and we spend more money, so that we're standing in the checkout line and we're like, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that, because the cravings kick in. They know how to manipulate our system. We know how to fix our system with a simple plant-based protocol. And this was me. This is one of my pictures. And a lot of you guys have probably seen that. Just the inflammation, like so many people talked about, just the puffiness, the pain, the extra weight. My body just, it wasn't functioning. And I was doing everything I knew to do, but I weighed more in January of 2025 than I did when I delivered all 5 of my babies. And I didn't realize I was almost 140 pounds. And for me, who says I'm 5'1", I think all of us have that. For me, who says I'm 5'1", that's a lot. And I was having joint issues. I had a foot injury that wouldn't heal, the brain fog, the sleeping. James just touched me and I go into a hot flash. Who knows why? I don't know. But it wasn't fun. And I was desperate. I was, Lord, what am I going to do? I know there's got to be something missing. And I heard this on social media, just like you're hearing today. And I thought, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. I'm going to give it a try. And coming into this community, there's been so much education, so much understanding, so much community building and friendships, and just that we understand. We've been there, we've been to where, oh, where's my glasses? Oh, they're on my head, and that's normal. It's common, but it doesn't have to be. We're learning how to get out of that. We're learning how to truly be that woman that's aging well and living well. That's our desire. So, if this resonates with you at all, get with one of us. We have a code to give you, and we'll walk you through the process. We'll coach you through it. And Carrie mentioned her gut. Everybody's gut is a little different. And some experience nothing. Some have to start it really slow. Some are, have a little bit of gas and bloating and maybe a little bit of constipation to work through. We're going to work through that with you. And there are things that I realized that, hey, I didn't understand. So now as I understand better, I can do better. And we've got resources. Dr. Ben Bickman, Why We Get Sick. I don't know where that book is. Actually, it's right here. Excellent book. Highly recommend Why We Get Sick. Yeah, see, we love this book. Get it on Audible. Get it. Leading metabolic specialist, Dr. Jason Fung, The Diabetes Code. Literally, and I don't know, I'm going to try to share this real quick. And I'm not going to go through all these slides, but these were some slides that I had put together. But I want you to see, maybe at some point we will. But guys, this is what it is. It's a 2-step protocol. Simple, easy for you to take and drink. It's 2 teas and a fiber, and we know it works. It makes a difference in the body. It reduces all of those symptoms that you have. It helps balance your hormones, and it just really helps your body to heal. Here's some of the pictures. This is Claudia. This is Lori. This is Angie. This is Carla and Dr. Andrina, and this was Jennifer that shared. Guys, just a few of the success stories that we have, and we have thousands. We have a science call tonight. So if this interests you, if you say, hey, I want to hear more, I want to know more, we have a internal medicine doc and pediatrician. He dives deep into the science, what's going on in our gut, because our gut and brain are connected. If you want that link, just message your friend that's on here and say, hey, send me the link. I want to know. I want to learn more. I feel like I'm being destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that's what scripture says. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So thank you, ladies, for being on. I so appreciate. If there's anything you guys want to share, just give me a thumbs up if you're good. We're going to let our friends go. Guys, we would love to invite you in to just fellowship with us, be part of us. Every Monday, we're going to do this. We might be switching up the time, but we want you to know we've got a community of support to support you. You're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. Yes, your hormones are going wild. There's another book. It's called The Menopause Brain. And I shared a little bit of her. Let's see, Lisa Mosconi. Your brain is changing. People will say, hey, you're not the same person. You're not. Your brain is rewiring. Trust that process. Fuel that process. There's things that we can do with great nutrition, with movement, where you're not going to be able to work out the way you used to. That's where injuries come into play. There are things that we can do to set our bodies up for success. And you have a whole team that's here to support you. Embrace your hormones, embrace this journey. Let this journey take you. It's even been said, as we go through the menopause stages and we get to menopause, post-menopause, this is where we're designed to step into even more of a leadership role, even more of a role of teaching, training, educating. We've been there. We've done it. We've messed up. We've recovered. We've been successful. We've won, we've failed, we've lost, we've loved, we've learned, and we're still learning. We're still growing. And if we can come together and support each other in that, with that unconditional love, guys, we can change the world. And that's our goal. So thank you for being here with us. Embrace this season. Start your day with gratitude. Go hug some woman and tell her she's special, because she is. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much for being on. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you for sharing your stories.